Sustainable development is defined in the Brundtland Report as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable development consists of three interrelating pillars: the environmental, social, and economic pillars. The foundation of the social pillar, which is the emphasis of this short video, is to improve the quality of life of our social capital, to coexist with each other, and to have an ethical responsibility to take action against injustices of any kind. Roaring Creek Village, a small community in the Kaya district, is struggling to achieve the social pillar of sustainable development. Roaring Creek Village has been plagued with many crimes and gruesome murders. The villagers in Roaring Creek, especially our youth, are inconvenienced by lack of engaging activities to build bonds among each other. Adding to that is the availability of drugs. Roaring Creek has a high rate of teenage pregnancy. The village also has a high rate of high school dropouts who are quickly acquainted with the gangs and drug dealers present around almost every corner. Villagers in Roaring Creek fear for their lives and the lives of their loved ones, and are always alert because of the fear and uncertainty of what will happen at any given moment. The unfortunate circumstances plaguing Roaring Creek has a ripple effect on the country and the world at large in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. I spoke with Stephen Diaz, President of Belize Youth Empowerment for Change, who attended the regional meeting on population and sustainable development in Barbados on the 25th to 27th of August 2015. Discussions were centered around the integration of the Sustainable Development Goals, an international conference on population and development beyond 2014, and Caribbean Youth Agenda. He shared a brief overview.
About 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was invited by the United Nations Population Fund, which is a huge stakeholder in the Caribbean region, that discussed ideas around reproductive health and also integration into different development agendas. We had a regional meeting in Barbados which spoke to developing a document which spoke to the Caribbean priorities, which would feed into a regional consensus document, which a discussion is to be held in Mexico City from the 6th to the 9th of October, discussing the regional priorities towards the Sustainable Development Agenda, which would be discussed at the United Nations. Most of the discussions that were held in Barbados was around reproductive health and linking reproductive health to different key thematic areas within the Sustainable Development Agenda, and having different groups see the potential within reproductive health as a key entry point into the discussions that would take place for the next 15 to 20 years of the world's development. Already, contributions towards different discussions has taken place at the United Nations towards the Sustainable Development Agenda, post-2015, and also the new Sustainable Development Goals. And there have been countless negotiations which have happened around these entire discussions, which sustainable development is a key component to most of the discussions that will take place for now and for our future generations. Within our region, we're trying to see how we could prioritize what Belize and the Caribbean wants to see for us for the next 15 to 20 years. And we've mainly highlighted areas within the thematic areas of health, within environmental sustainability, also within energy. We're looking into clean, sustainable energy towards the future. We're looking into migration as well, safe and legal migration. We're also looking into ideas around border security, protecting our borders. Some of these were discussions that came about in the Barbados discussions around sustainable development, that Belize also has to take into consideration our integrity as a country and our contributions that we have as a nation towards the region.
As stated by Stephen, discussions with regards to the social pillar of sustainable development were focused mainly on migration and sexual and reproductive health, which includes family planning. I believe More emphasis should have been placed on combating crime and violence as a priority in Belize, not only because it is the ethical and humanitarian thing to do, but also because crime and violence negatively affects our economic growth. Belize has 13 more murders within the first 4 months of 2015 when compared to 2014, shown in this graph retrieved from the Belize Police Department. Belize has gained bad publicity from our crime and murder statistics. In the 2014 UN report, Belize was named the third most dangerous country in the world, having 44.7 homicides per 100,000 people, as can be viewed in this color-coded map from the Huffington Post. And more recently, the US advised tourists to be very cautious when traveling on the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek Village to Tikato Village. Our crime rate also negatively affects our economic growth by having to fund the penitentiary. Thus, it is safe to say behavioral norms govern social conduct, which ultimately determines economic behavior. So how can we combat crime and violence and become the tranquil haven we so proudly sing about in our national anthem? How can being socially sustainable aid in accomplishing the economic pillar of sustainable development? Mitigating recommendations and the economic benefits they bring are as follows. Having a good family structure and instill morals and values in a younger generation. This prevents crime on a whole. Children grow up to be productive citizens. Secondly, having and being positive role models. Inspire young people to lead positive, productive lives. Children will grow up to be productive citizens. Thirdly, having engaging activities. Young people will learn teamwork and cooperation skills and dedication to achieve a common objective. They will learn how to positively deal with conflict and build bonds with each other. This promotes economic growth by keeping our youth busy and out of crime's way. Less people committing crime, less people in jail, less funding needed. Fourthly, technical and vocational programs. Most young people who drop out of school are talented in other areas. Making technical and vocational programs more accessible to these young people will further develop their trade, which they can capitalize on, whether that means being gainfully employed or working for themselves. Lastly, provide opportunities for ex-convicts. When released from jail, ex-convicts are placed in society with knowledge and experience from various sectors of employment, from agriculture to architecture. However, when placed in society, ex-convicts are not given the chance to showcase their acquired trade because of the stigma given to them. Ex-convicts should be given the opportunity to gain employment, which possibly keeps them from going back to jail. In conclusion, I reiterate that more funds need to be invested in the social aspect of our Belizean communities. A couple years from now, Belize will be at war on the concrete streets made possible via Petrocaribe. Infrastructural development is meaningless if our citizens face constant degradation.